Will Spencer's downward spiral is no longer subtle, temporary, or easily excused as grief. What's happening to Will now is psychological, emotional, and deeply dangerous. And Luna's presence, whether imagined or something far more symbolic, has become the catalyst that finally shatters his control. Since Luna's death, Will has never truly processed the loss. On the surface he pretends to move forward, but internally he is frozen at the moment everything went wrong. Luna wasn't just someone he loved, she represented a future he believed he could escape into, a life separate from the chaos, manipulation, and moral gray zones that define the Spencer world. When she died, that future died with her. And Will, unable to grieve properly, buried the pain instead of facing it. That's where Luna's ghost comes in. This is not a traditional supernatural haunting. Luna's ghost is the embodiment of Will's guilt, regret, and unresolved trauma. She appears at moments when Will is weakest, when he drinks too much, when he lashes out, when he's alone with his thoughts. Her presence isn't comforting. It's accusatory. She doesn't soothe him, she confronts him with everything he wishes he could forget. Every hallucination, every imagined conversation forces Will to relive the choices he made, the warnings he ignored, and the moments where he believes he failed her. What drives Will toward insanity is that Luna's ghost doesn't just remind him of the past, she questions his worth in the present. In Will's fractured mental state, her voice becomes the one he listens to most. She asks why he's still alive when she isn't. She challenges whether he deserves happiness, forgiveness, or peace. And because Will already feels undeserving, those questions cut deeply and reinforce his self-loathing. As this haunting intensifies, Will's self-destructive behavior escalates dramatically. He starts isolating himself from everyone who tries to help, especially his family. He rejects concern, mocks compassion, and deliberately pushes people away. In his mind, if he destroys every connection, then no one else can be hurt by him the way Luna was. Unfortunately, that logic only traps him further in loneliness. His substance abuse worsens. Drinking is no longer social or occasional, it becomes compulsive. Will drinks to silence Luna's voice, but instead it amplifies it. The more impaired he becomes, the more vivid and relentless the hallucinations grow. This creates a vicious cycle. Guilt leads to drinking, drinking fuels the visions, and the visions deepen the guilt. Each night becomes more dangerous than the last. Professionally and personally, Will begin sabotaging himself. He misses responsibilities, lashes out at authority, and makes reckless decisions with no regard for consequences. This isn't rebellion, it's punishment. On a subconscious level, Will believes he deserves to lose everything. His behavior becomes increasingly erratic, making those around him question his stability and fear for his safety. The most alarming part of this storyline is how low Will sinks emotionally. He begins to flirt with the idea that destroying himself might somehow make things right. Luna's ghost becomes the twisted mirror reflecting his darkest thoughts. She represents the life he believes he stole from her, and in his warped thinking, self-destruction feels like justice. This is where the danger peaks. Will isn't just spiraling, he's unraveling. His judgment is compromised, his emotions are raw, and his grip on reality is weakening. The line between memory and hallucination blurs, making it harder for him to distinguish what's real. That puts him at risk of making a single irreversible choice in a moment of despair. Meanwhile, those closest to Will may sense something is wrong, but they don't yet grasp how severe it is. From the outside, it looks like grief mixed with bad decisions. What they don't see is the constant psychological assault happening inside Will's mind, the relentless presence of Luna reminding him of loss, failure, and shame. This storyline is not about horror or fantasy. It's about untreated trauma and survivor's guilt eating someone alive from the inside. Luna's ghost is the manifestation of everything Will refuses to confront openly. Until he faces the truth of his grief and forgives himself, the haunting will continue, pushing him further toward the edge. Ultimately, the bold and the beautiful is setting up a critical crossroads. Either someone intervenes before Will crosses a line he can't return from, or his self-destruction will reach consequences that permanently alter his life. Luna's ghost may be imaginary, but the damage it causes is painfully real.